crap, dude.
Hey guys, welcome back to the lounge. Laura here, and for today's video I'm going to be doing a story time. So I've seen a bunch of these videos all over YouTube, and I'm sure you guys have too, and it's just basically where we tell a story, as if that wasn't obvious in the title. Story time. Okay, so for today's story time, I'm going to tell you about what happened on the weekend. It was Saturday the 10th of November, and for all of you Aussies watching, you know Georgia Productions. If you didn't know, she's one of my favourite YouTubers, and she recently released a book. It's called The Amazingly Disorganized Help Dictionary, and it was such a good book, and she was doing a book signing in my hometown, and I went, and it was so much fun. Like, who knew standing in line for 4 hours just for a book signing could be like heaps of fun? Like, I actually had a lot of fun just waiting in line to meet her, you know? Anyway, so the book signing was at 10 o'clock, but, you know, there was a lot of people there, and so I got there about 8:30 in the morning, I think. Yeah, 8:30 in the morning, and there was already like maybe 150, 200 people there already, and the shop wasn't really open. Like, it was, but like there was still like 3 hours before she was, no, 2.5 hours before she was supposed to be arriving. And so I was with my mum went with me, but she sort of didn't want to stand in line for 4 hours, so she kind of just went and had a coffee at the coffee club and like ditched me, which was fine. I told her to go enjoy herself while I wait in line for 4 hours, because, you know, what else do you do on a Saturday, am I right? So my mum left me, and I was talking to a few people behind me. I felt a little awkward because I was like one of the only people in that line over the age of 12. I was one of the only like teenagers there. I'm sure there was like teenagers there, but if they were like maybe 13, 14 tops, you know? So, but this one little girl behind me, she was probably maybe 11, maybe a little younger, and she was so excited to meet Georgia. Like, I thought I was excited, but no, this little girl, she was like way more excited than I was, and I thought it was so adorable. So yeah, so my feet were getting really sore, but eventually we got, you know, we moved up around. It was funny, when she arrived, the screams were deafening. Like, say you go to a concert. Say, if you're at a concert, the screams that you hear at a concert were probably maybe a few decibels less than, like, so the screams for Georgia were like a few decibels less than what you hear at a concert. So yeah, so the screams were loud. Let's just go with that. And I didn't scream because I felt really weird, but you know, I was still excited, and they're all just like rushed this way. So like she was coming, so the line, I don't know how to describe it. So I was here, and the line was sort of going back that way. And as soon as she got there, everyone sort of went meow like that behind me and ran past her, and then she walked past me, and they all just kind of that way. They kind of just clumped, and then there was everyone around that wasn't waiting in line was sort of like walking past and like what's going on? And then I could see some people, they're like, oh, it's a book signing. Oh, I wonder who for, you know? And when she got there, and because I could hear the screams because they were like really loud, and there was people staring, and they all kind of just, because there was like, she had like a table outside the front of the bookshop, and as soon as she went over there, everyone just morphed straight into like this big giant clump there was a bunch of security around, and they had to get through all those people first before my line could even like move forward, because like the lines were split, so there was like, it started on like the far end opposite the bookshop, and then it went all the way around, and then it like cut where the bookshop was, and then there was like a giant walkway for people to walk across and stuff, and then my line started. And yeah, so like they had to get through all those people before my line could even move. And then when Then when my line was actually able to move, it sort of made it a little easier. There was still like the crowd that was there, but they were sort of like moving really fast and stuff. So that was good. But it probably took me, say, an hour from where I was when Georgia got there, an hour from where I was to get to the bottom of like the walkway sort of went down. It was like a little ramp, but not really a ramp, if that makes sense. Yeah, it took me probably an hour to get from where I originally was down to, there was like a little makeup shop there, down to that makeup shop. It took me an hour just because there's so many people there. I don't think Georgia was expecting that many people either, and I was surprised. I was like, okay, she's a lot more popular than we all thought. Like, I know she's popular and she so deserves it, but like, I don't think she was expecting. I think I remember her saying there was over 1,000 people there. We flooded the shopping centre, and then yeah, so there were so many little kids around me, and I was like, and they were like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, we're getting close, blah blah blah. And then there was me. I was sort of like, cool, gonna meet her. Woo! I mean, anybody, when you meet someone that's relatively, you know, well known and famous, it's sort of like, oh, it's like you get that little rush of adrenaline, and you're like, oh my god, I'm meeting someone well known, famous. You know, that's sort of me. It's like, I'm always like, oh my god, I'm meeting someone that, you know, they'll know I exist, blah blah blah, you know. Yeah, I'm getting sidetracked now. So we eventually got around, and I probably waited another hour in that line to get to the other side of the shopping centre, and like, yeah, across from the bookshop. And yeah, so, and then there was like these
One eternity later.
There was these kids that, like this big group of girls that were like in front of me, and somehow, like, they weren't there before, and somehow they ended up in front of me, and I was like, you weren't there before, why are you here, you know? I asked them, I was like, you guys can't push in, that's not fair, you know? And they were just like, oh, we've been pushed in front of, so we've sort of just like stood here. And I'm like, still, you know, you can't push in and whatever. And then it was like a tiny group at first, and then I was like, alright, whatever, just go, you know. And then their group got bigger, and I was like, alright, no, get out of my way. And then this one little girl, she was like, you guys can go in front of us, blah blah blah. And I was like, oh, thank you. And yeah, so I was sort of looking after this little girl until her dad got back, and then there was the girls that were originally behind me. We all sort of went in front of them, and then I probably waited another 10 minutes, maybe 10 minutes before actually getting to move up to where like the entrance to go meet her was. So that wasn't too bad. And then because I was by myself, and my mum was waiting like outside Big W or something, and I was by myself, and one of the guys that worked at the bookshop, he was just like, is it just the one? And I was like, yeah, just me. And he's like, lone soldier, nice. And I was like, yep, that's me, I'm a lone soldier. That was an odd but kind of funny interaction. Anyway, so then I went up, waited in line, and eventually got to Georgia, and I didn't realise how small she was. Like, there wasn't that much height difference between us, but like, it was just, she was so cute, I wanted to like put her in a little box and take her home with me, you know, just, So I drew a picture for her because I'm sort of into like drawing and stuff, and trying to experiment with like real people just to get like better at, you know, drawing. And so I gave her the picture, and you know, she liked it and stuff, and She complimented my hair. I was like, girl, I love you. She asked me if it was natural, which it's not natural, and I said yes, and I was like, hang on, that's not right, it's not natural. And I felt so awkward. I was like, Laura, you can't say anything normal. Like, nothing, the right words can't just come out of your mouth when someone asks you a question. Like, anyway, that was what was going through my head. But I was like, oh wait, no, it's not. So I was like really rushed, so we sort of were just, you know, talking one word sentences and all this kind of stuff. But she was super nice, super humble, very down to earth. I almost forgot to get a photo, and she signed my book, and I was like, wait, and you know, I was like, had so much in my hands, and I was made those, like, you know, when you forget something, you're like, yeah, we were both doing that, and I was like, oh, Laura, you're an embarrassment. But, you know, we got a photo, and they turned out really well. She was super lovely, and I couldn't take the smile off my face after I got, you know, after I left. The little girl that was behind me, I waited until, she met her, and then she started to cry, and I just gave her a big hug because she was so cute, and I was like, aww. It was a really good day. It was definitely worth waiting in line for 4 hours. I did feel bad for Georgia though, because, like, you know, she was signing books non-stop and meeting different people for 4 hours. Like, that's a long time to be standing on your feet, you know? So, and then some people missed out, and because she had to go back down to wherever she lives, New South Wales or whatever. So she had to catch a flight and all that kind of stuff, and I felt really bad because I'm sure she wanted to get through everyone, but sometimes you just can't. And I suppose that's the sad thing about meet and greets. Sometimes you can't get through everyone, and people miss out on, like, getting a photo or an autograph, or they miss out entirely, and you're sort of like, well, why did I come here? But, you know, we're all human. We all have to sacrifice something. Sometimes you can't help it, whatever, but she made the best effort that she could, and I really admire her for that. If I was in that same situation, I probably wouldn't have been able to cope. It's very overwhelming. So, yeah, but she was so nice, so down to earth, and as soon as I got to, like, my mum, I was like, oh my god, that just happened, you know? I started telling her all about it, and she was really happy for me, and I was so happy. I couldn't take the smile off my face for the rest of the day. It was just nice to be able to talk to her. Even though it was only very brief, it was still nice to meet her, to, you know, see how she reacts with all of her fans and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, one day I hope to be like that, like to meet you guys, and maybe not necessarily at a book signing, but at, like, a convention or something. But yeah, so that was basically it for the book signing on Saturday. I really enjoyed waiting in line for 4 hours, and the book is fantastic. Like, it's in your local stores. Go and pick it up. Big W, QBD, wherever. Online, Booktopia, Penguin Books Australia. I don't know if it's available worldwide, but you could have a look. So yeah, so that was what happened on Saturday. That's my story for today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Hit the red subscribe button down below, and don't forget to turn on the bell so you get notified every time I upload. Let me know in the comments section if you want to see more of these storytime videos, if you liked this one. And leave a comment down below if you went to the book signing and you met Georgia, or if you're going to one, or if you've met any other famous YouTubers or famous celebrities or whatever, and, like, you know, your experiences or whatever. I will see you all next week back in the lounge with another video. Bye!